Welcome to Java. Thank you again for joining me. It's January 14th, 2024. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I would like to send out a special thanks to those that are supporting this channel, both through being here every day, commenting, and those of you that also support with donations. I cannot thank you enough for keeping this going. So, with that, and especially if you're new, hopefully there's something good in here for you that you choose to hit that like and also possibly subscribe. Now, with that, this morning, it looks like we've got a bit of a risk on coming back into the market after weakness yesterday. So, we'll be watching Japan as well as the PPI inflation, producer price inflation coming out this morning as far as the market. So, let's go into the risk. Starting off, MMRI 325.7. Now, this is slightly lower than yesterday. Still an extreme risk. We've still got a lot of things going on and still in fear territory as far as the consumers. Now, it has gone up one tick from 26 yesterday, but still got retailers not feeling very strong about this. So, the main driver for this market this morning is still fear. Nothing is guaranteed, really looking at that producer price index inflation. Now, if it's at or below expectations, then the market could bounce. If it comes in higher or hot, that means that the Federal Reserve is less likely to cut rates, and that would hurt the markets from where they are. Now, pretty mixed as they are, if you take a look at these right now, had an odd story talking about how some major tech stocks were pressuring the NASDAQ. Well, the NASDAQ is the tech sector, so one would imagine that large tech stocks dropping would put pressure on that. So with that, we've got the VIX is dropping a bit. This is the volatility. So gold about flat and oil pulling back again from that boost it got yesterday from the sanctions news. So with all of this, futures looking only slightly green, quite flat. They are waiting on those numbers. It's really what it looks like. Now, what's going on in the background? Really, the mover is the relative strength of the dollar. Dropped down from 110, which was a crazy number that was crushing other currencies, and the 10-year yield still approaching the 5% level, which is kind of pressuring stocks. However, pulling back a slight bit this morning. Now, with this, we've got Bitcoin cryptocurrencies running back up above that 92,000 level critical support that it tested. It's bouncing off at the moment, but not out of danger. We're still in a range to where it could either break down or break up. And so we're watching what that does here. Okay. With this, the futures look like will open green with the market this morning. But from there, we'll watch that PPI. I should probably wait for this because it's out at 8:30. Now, with this, we've got this headline coming out about Yellen leaving a legacy of alliances that the new administration is threatening to torch. Now, this is coming from the person that seized the assets of other countries, namely Russia and China to start with, when Silicon Valley Bank crumbled. Now, I think that's not a very nice thing to do when there were other paths that they could have taken, and now blaming this on others, that there are tensions between Russia and China. So with that, let's move on. We've got Japanese investors exiting foreign assets for a third straight month in December. What was going on with that? They were selling US debt and US dollar denominated assets in order to keep their economy going. Going to see more of this as the US wrecking ball continues through. So Japan under some pressure. They've got to protect their currency. We've also got China. They've got new yuan loans rising. So with this, that's kind of helping them out a bit. They are in QE phase in order to help out their economy. Okay, so the calendar. We are getting the core PPI numbers coming out this morning. We're getting Fed president coming out speaking, Fed beige book. Not expecting a lot from that. But tomorrow, we're getting CPI. So these more inflation numbers prior to the market open. And that could be significantly market moving. We've got the earnings coming out. some large ones. So after the close today, not too much, but tomorrow morning, prior to the market open, the big banks will be reporting. So expecting movement from those as well, and expecting them in general to be strong. So let's see what else we've got. We've got current administration, the new export rule for the chip sector. Now, he really angered some of the chip sectors because the whole sector dropped yesterday on this. These were the tech giants they were talking about that dropped NASDAQ. So with this being reported, the EU also did not like this because this is highly inflationary for them as well and curbing their abilities to expand with their artificial intelligence. So, in short, this is shackling the West from competing in this sector. So, I want to talk about a couple of other things. The first is the TikTok ban. Now, this is another kind of on the, if you will, the information war going on mainly with China. So, the United States could ban this app as soon as Sunday. And they're talking about Elon Musk now possibly buying it. That would be interesting. It would put him as a large holder of social media. A lot that goes into that. If you look at the news magnets from the past, you can see the strength that that has. Now, moving forward into the loan sector, buy now, pay later again in the news. They are made to mostly subprime borrowers, which is kind of a given, but the CFPB now trying to regulate them. We've got the FDIC giving this as all non-bank investment firms short-term loans, not a lot of collateral behind them, if any. So this is an issue because these loans are rising to a point where they could move that loan sector. It's massive amount of unsecured debt. So moving over to the secured debt side, this is housing. The demand is falling with the 30-year mortgage rates climbing above 7% again. Now, this is harming not just loans and the banking sector from this, from mortgage-backed securities, but what this also does is this hurts the sentiment because this is what we talk about, the perceived wealth. Now, people in their house, even if they don't intend on selling it, if they have the perception that their house is worth more, they will tend to spend more. So this could be a detriment to the economy, not just because of the housing spending. So that's something important to realize about that. Now, this is all part of a larger war that is going on. We're in currency wars. Now, with this talking about China again, they're going to, quote, try very hard, unquote, to slow yuan's fall. Now, this currency war, they're kind of spiking this because of the incoming tariffs that have been talked about from the administration that is being inaugurated on Monday. So Monday will be a major mover for multiple reasons. We're yet to see which direction. But they have vowed to support their currency through all of this. Now, aside from the currency wars, we've also got the physical wars that can be the bolster behind this, if you will. And if that fails, we can also overthrow governments. Now, this is in regards to this. Uh, Perfect example is Venezuela. Now, they just had currency, massive devaluation. They had collapse of the currency, and this was in response to this war. Now, that didn't quite happen. It had sanctions, had tariffs, all kinds of kind of underground wars, if you will, trade wars with Venezuela. And we've got an ex-Green Beret now behind a failed raid in 2020. He's now in court and he's lashing out at the CIA and FBI, saying that he did have the backing for this. And there are a couple of his colleagues that were captured now in their prisons. There's a lot going on that don't necessarily make the headlines, that are also encompassed, if you will, with all of this financial mess that's going on. Now, going over to what they're claiming for environmental and natural disasters, so to speak, they've got 1,800 National Guardsmen activated for fire response to the LA fires. Now, I'm not necessarily against this response, but they're saying there is massive response needed because now they've got the death toll up to 24. And while that is very sad, just as a comparison, in Appalachia, they had lost over 200 people and not nearly this response, and those people are still struggling. So just want to bring that up. Now, with all of this going on with us, I'd like to bring in something a little bit more mysterious, a little lighter. We've got mysterious marble-sized balls washing up on Sydney beaches, baffling authorities. Now, I have a couple of questions that this brings up. The first is, what does it take to be an authority on washed up balls? And the second is, what could this possibly be? Well, the answer to this is, I just suppose that perhaps you should go in and get tested. So with that, I wish you all a wonderful trading day. If you're trading, I just hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being with me. And until I see you again, my friends, question everything and stay free.